Hello, from Jihad and the World, a podcast that explores the connection between Western and Islamic cultures. The author is Mark Silinsky of Kensington Security Consulting, where we bring education to national security. This is the 10th in a series of podcasts focused on a single terrorist incident. The December 2nd, 2015, husband and wife mass murder of health inspectors in San Bernardino, California. This episode concludes the story with a Bonnie-and-Clyde-style shootout in the streets of San Bernardino. This ends the series, The Killing Floor. Thelma and Louise. While friends and loved ones frantically searched hospitals and clinics for information, law enforcement officers scoured the streets for a black rental Explorer with Utah plates. Federal and local authorities are now looking for suspects who were driving through the nearby cities of San Bernardino and Redlands. There was a time they vanished from surveillance and records. After the rampage, the couple visited a local lake at 11:45 a.m. and then appeared to zigzag across the area. The assailants kept geographically close to San Bernardino and Redlands in what appeared to be aimless circling with intermittent stops. Several people noticed a black SUV with Utah license plates and called the police. Detectives spotted Farouk and Malik driving toward Redlands and followed them. A Redlands Police Department squad car signaled to Farouk to pull over, but he did not come to a complete stop. Nick Koahu, a narcotics officer with the San Bernardino Police Department, thought to himself, "They're not going to stop. They're going to shoot it out with us." And he was right. Suddenly, Farouk's rear window shattered as he fired his weapon toward the police. Koahu exited his vehicle, approached Farouk, and went prone at 70 yards from Farouk's SUV. Armed with an AR-15 and years of experience as military police in the Marines, Koahu returned fire, causing Farouk to stumble and fall. Koahu kept firing. At the same time, San Bernardino Police Sergeant Ryan Shuelke fired at Farouk with his rifle. Sergeant Shuelke used the red dot sight on his weapon to aim as accurately as possible at Farouk, mindful that they were in a residential neighborhood with people likely in the surrounding homes. Sergeant Shuelke fired 5 or 6 shots at Farouk's chest. One round went through Farouk's torso, creating a mist of blood upon impact. Several armored vehicles responded to the scene. More than 175 law enforcement officers from various local, county, state, and federal agencies had arrived by the time of the exchange. Altogether, 24 officers fired at least 440 rounds at the vehicle. Riddled with bullets and collapsed on the ground, Farouk lay lifeless, but his wife began to fire blindly in short bursts from the SUV's window. Police at the scene used every gun in their arsenal, including a Mini-14, a shotgun, and a handgun. The barrage of gunfire eventually stopped her attack after 13 bullets hit her body and 2 bullets struck her head. Farouk and Malik had fired at least 81 shots at the police. The killers were now dead, but Koahu felt like someone had punched him hard in the thigh. He had been shot, and as his adrenaline waned, he began to limp. The shootout was a frightening experience for nearby neighbors who watched in confused horror. Middle-aged Billy Sirk was trimming a tree in front of his house when gunfire erupted nearby. Seeing Malik shooting at the police, he dropped from the ladder to take cover inside his home. Teenager Mahir Rahman saw his house on TV and immediately realized that the suspects were being chased across the street. He protected his mother by hiding with her in a room until the gunfire stopped. It felt timeless. It felt like an eternity. Nearby, local resident Michael was inside a liquor store when police prevented him from leaving. Less than 2 blocks from the shootout, he heard police sirens passing by the store. Shocked, he looked out the door only to be told by an officer that he had to stay inside because shooters were still at large. Michael later said, I heard later that day that it was like in that movie. You know, Thelma and Louise. They just went down shooting. The San Bernardino District Attorney's report stated that at least 27 rounds hit Farouk, while his wife was struck by 15. Ghost Town. During the afternoon of the shooting, county leaders shut down all non-essential public services, including schools. For several hours afterward, officials closed many stores and public places and blocked off streets. Residents had never experienced anything like this before and did not understand what was happening. A journalist described the scene as a police state, and others spoke of desolation. Soon after the shooting, armored police vehicles rolled through downtown streets, some of which were empty of pedestrians. One observer said, "It's like a ghost town right now." Redlands also went into lockdown. Farouk's neighbor, Squeaky, recalls that afternoon as law enforcement took control of the block where he and the Farouk family lived. The 64-year-old, grumpy construction worker peeked out his window when a team of officers arrived at the perpetrator's home. Squeaky lives 7 houses up the block and casually knew Farouk and his mother. "I used to wave at her," the mother, "and the boy, Saeed, seemed like a regular kid. He was brought up right." Thank you for listening to this series of The Killing Floor. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to hear more podcasts from Jihad and the world. If any listener has first-hand knowledge of the San Bernardino attack, please contact us. Our latest book, Cauldron of Terror, Hamas, Israel, and the World, will be available for purchase in July 2026. This podcast does not reflect the official position of the United States government. Until next time, goodbye from Kensington Security Consulting.